Hello everyone, I am Liz from French Toast and Books, and today I am doing my January wrap-up. Now, January was a very slow month for me in the sense of both reading and booktube because I did something I did not expect. I took an extra class so I could graduate by the end of the semester. So I'm very used to taking in between 9 and 11 credit hours, and now I'm taking 15. So it is a lot of school to get through, and it has pushed my reading to very sporadic, very few. So I only ended up reading 3 books. So the first book I read in January was Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. I started reading it at the end of December. Planned on finishing it in December, but didn't. I finally finished it the first week of January, and I loved it. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars because the imagery, the prose, the world that Mary Shelley created was so beautiful, and I swooned at the words that Frankenstein and his creature said that I was absorbed and just in such awe. However, I was really disappointed that Igor makes no appearance at all. I grew up to seeing Igor in, Young Frankenstein and all these other Frankenstein adaptations that, while reading them all, where's Igor? But he's not here. And I found out that Igor was put into film adaptations. First, he started off as just an unnamed assistant, and then it morphed into the Igor that we know today. So that was a little disappointing. I also really couldn't stand how Frankenstein had an instant hate to his creature. He took so long and so much preparation in reanimating him that the second he saw him alive, he just completely just hated him, and he didn't have that huge, it's alive, moment. Next, I read Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. I did this as a collaboration with my friend Michael and Michelle from No Stuck in a Book. So, I gave this one a 3.5 out of 5 stars. My rating is actually very conflicted for this book because I absolutely loved the first half, where you get an introduction to the story. But then as the story evolved, I ended up not liking it as much. The adaptation of the pictures and the development of Jacob was so great. But yeah, so the big whole love relationship thing that happens, I didn't like it. I felt like it was really misplaced. And then Ransom Riggs' dialogue for Jacob, it felt like he was kind of trying too hard to make him sound like a teenager. That I was kind of thrown from the story, and that's the only thing I really didn't like about it. And I felt like some of the choices they made were really dumb and not believable to what decisions teenagers would make in real life. And I hated that the children, or the peculiar children, really just thought like a children, even though they were years and years old. So there's just things I was very nitpicky with that made me not enjoy the story as much as I thought I could. And the last book I read was The Immortal Rules by Julie Kagawa. I did this with a collaboration with my friend Joey, and I'm actually creating a collaboration video. We spent earlier today actually making this video. So I gave it a 5 out of 5. I really loved it. I thought Julie Kagawa created a great plot, great characters, and just was very cohesive and left each character true to themselves, and just the struggle of fighting for your humanity while you're a vampire was very real, and I loved this so much, and I'm not going to say that enough because it was so good. And yeah, so that is my January wrap-up video. My goals for February are just to keep reading and read as much as I can. I'm going to leave where I left off with my January TBR and continue reading The Beautiful Miscellaneous by Dominic Smith. And I want to eventually get to The Eternity Cure which is the sequel to the Immortal Rules. As it is the end of January, I'm sure I will see a lot of people's January wrap-ups, and I really want to know what you guys read. If you've read any of the books I've read, I'd love to hear your input on them, and I hope to see you soon. Goodbye!